Have you ever had a conversation with a dad or grandfather, or maybe an uncle? A conversation was so damn interesting, you wish it could go on forever? Well, that's what this week's episode of Unlocking Moves was like for me with Bo Burlingham. You might know him as the author of books like Small Giant, The Knack, The Great Game of Business, other bestsellers. He was also at Inc. magazine for 33 years covering the business beat. And he's got some amazing stories from the early days of places like Google and Apple and Ben and Jerry's. But you know what? In this week's episode, it's part one of a two-part series with Bo because we couldn't get into the second part of his career because the beginning of his career was so damn interesting. Maybe to tease it a little bit, he was part of a left-wing radical group at Princeton that during the anti-war days in the mid-70s. Then he was part of a group called the Weathermen, which became Weather Underground. If you want a little yuck, go check out Weather Underground on Wikipedia. You may get your computer seized by the FBI after you do that. He also just has such an amazing story. He learned while he was at the news desk of a small radio station early on in his career. That's when he learned from an AP wire that came across his desk that he was being indicted for some activity with the Weathermen. And how do you go from a left-wing radical to a pro-business author and journalist? You're going to have to check this week's episode of Unlocking Moves out with Bo Burlingham.